I don't know why we have a filter. Woo! Check that out. I don't even know why that happened. Let's see if we can fix it. Oh my goodness, guys. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Taco Bout It Tuesday. I don't know how to swipe away my filters now. I don't know what happened. Oh goodness, what a day. It's Tuesday, baby. Who's ready to taco about it? So we are going to get together with Jessica today. And we are going to, yay, as soon as she pops in, we're going to talk today about morbid obesity. We're going to talk about mobility. And we're going to talk about mental health. And it looks like I have a filter on again. I don't know what's up, girly. We may have a filter, girl. Which I think is so very you and me. Like, I honestly don't know why we have the filter. We have a filter.
We have a filter?
Yeah. Do you see it? Like, I've got my lights, but it's got some sort of, I don't even know. We're going to pretend we don't.
We like it. It's pretty.
We like it. It's pretty. Hello, my darling. So why don't we start with first, I would love for you to introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay. I'm Jessica Link, Jessie Bell Keto on Instagram, and my Facebook page is Ketogenesis Community, and my private page is Ketogenesis.
Yay!
And
I'm going to ask you to tip your camera down just a little bit, because I can only get like half of your face in there. But we're going to roll with it.
So tell me what to do.
That's better. I feel like it's just a little bit too close to you, because all I'm getting is like this part. There we go. See? Aces.
I'm trying to not show all the cleavage.
Right.
I'm at the pool.
Old habits die hard. I don't know about you, but cleavage was all I had to bargain with once upon a time.
Mine has always just been sloppy cleavage. Not voluptuous and sexy, just bleh.
Bleh. Right?
Bleh.
So today we're going to start off by talking about morbid obesity. Now, if nobody knows us personally, we were both morbidly obese for the majority of our lives. It might not be something that you would guess by looking at us. So you and I were having a really good talk last night about how that extra weight affects your body and your movement. And I would love to start there with what your experience with that was, and then we'll touch on how that was for me.
Okay. Well, for me, I fought weight my whole life, and I was not morbidly obese up until maybe the last 7 to 10 years I was fighting that. So I was one of those people who was always a little overweight, always fighting to get to a good weight, then losing control. And I didn't have mobility issues when I was younger. I just didn't feel good about myself. But one day it morphed into so much more than that, where all of a sudden I couldn't move. And it happened so slowly that you don't feel it coming on until one day you're trying to get out of bed and you feel like a turtle on its back. Like you have to kind of wiggle and move and adjust and push and pull just to get yourself turned over, to get your feet off of the bed so that you can flip yourself over. I mean, I never imagined that I would have those struggles, and then they just kind of happened, and I didn't realize it until one day I'm in the bathroom at a restaurant, and I'm thinking, I have to be in a handicapped stall because I can't physically move enough to be in a bathroom stall and do my business without having the extra space. So it was really weird for me that to kind of come to that realization, to that conclusion, because it wasn't always that way. I always thought that I had bigger problems than I did until I had really big problems. Okay, go ahead. My son's just going to the other pool.
And in my early 20s, I carried that weight effortlessly. When I was, 22, 23, 25, and I was over 200 pounds, it wasn't that big of a deal. Even when I had my son at 23 and I was 290 when I gave birth to him, I was able to get up, get down, move around. It wasn't an issue. But by the time he was 8, I couldn't physically get out of bed in the morning. I would wake up and my legs would be in pins and needles and I would be in tears, and my body literally would not accept the weight that I was putting on it. I would have to sit on the edge of my bed for 20 minutes and just cry and wait for my body to adjust. And from there, I would crawl my way along the wall to the toilet to sit there for another 20 minutes. And an hour of every day was just allowing my body to adjust. And I thought that was everyday normal. All of my friends went through it. It wasn't a big deal, I was like, whatever, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm loved, you shut up. Don't judge me.
Right. And see, the one thing that you had going for you is, as horrible and as hard as your everyday life was, you had a tenacity about you, where you were like, don't judge me, I am who I am, I'm happy with, even though you weren't happy.
It wasn't.
Because we know you weren't happy, but you fought to be happy. You struggled and you worked really hard to make the most of your situation. And that's something to be really, it's really admirable. Because for some people like me, I got to the point I couldn't fake it anymore, and I just, I've said this before in other lives, I would just dress in black and try to be invisible, and I would leave the house as little as humanly possible. At least you were doing something to try to live your life. And so I admire that. Clearly you had a lot to figure out, and thankfully you did, like, in an amazing way, but your hurdles were not my hurdles, were not his hurdles, were not her hurdles.
No. And I think in my own mind, I separated myself from regularly sized women. I did not even judge myself based on them. When it came to fat girls, I was a 9, so you could just bite me. And why would you want to factor in anything, below the boobies? That just brings down your average. Nobody needs that. So I honestly, it may not be healthy, but in a way I convinced myself that my personality and my face were all that mattered, and the rest, from here down, didn't matter. And anybody who felt the need to judge me based on that, it's because they were a bad human being. So, not on me.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I judged myself as being a bad human being for letting myself go. So that's the difference, Like, neither of them were really based in reality.
It wasn't. It wasn't. And let's talk about that. Because for me, I think that's the biggest struggle that I have, is honestly seeing myself in a realistic light. Seeing myself how I actually physically look. Even at this point, even right now, as I'm watching myself talk on this live, I think, I like that girl. But I don't look at her and think, wow, that's me. I've come 5,000 miles. I have a hard time associating with my new image, with who I am in the mirror now.
And that's amazing to me, because you just seem so comfortable in your own skin all the time. And I didn't know you when you were, in a very different skin, but I imagine you've always kind of still been Dory.
Yes, and you know what? I had a lot of what I now call fake confidence, because everyone would come up to me and they would say, Dory, you're so brave, you're so fearless, you feel so good about yourself. And I never knew where they got that impression from, because I never felt that way on the inside, I felt the same as you. I was trying to dress in black. I was trying to be a wallflower. I would walk into every room and I would quickly scan it. And my first thought would be, please, dear God, don't let me be the fattest girl in the room.
No,
and that's a mean thought.
I moved to a place where there are a lot of really fit people. So coming from Minnesota, where, you know, a lot of people tend to be heavier, and then moving out to New Jersey, where it's kind of the melting pot. Everybody, they're all shapes and sizes, and then, you know, I slowly kind of eased my way toward areas where people were more fit, like Colorado, where people are really a lot more fit. And then I made my way to Arizona, where everybody is so fit. And I shouldn't say everybody, because everybody is not, but
it feels that way.
More people are. And by the time I got to this spot, this physical location, I was at my worst physical being. So, like, I was like, I don't belong here. I don't fit here. And I assumed that nobody was going to like me. And that's like such a sophomoric way of thinking when you're in your 40s.
Right.
But that's kind of where I was at. I was like, nobody wants to be around me. You know, and it wasn't just about the weight. It's about, if you let yourself go to that point, like, what kind of self-worth do you have? You know, what kind of ambition do you have when you're at that point? Like, why would somebody like somebody who has zero self-motivation?
Well, zero desire to improve their life. I spent a lot of years in that position too, but I also bought into, that's not for me. I tried everything. I tried every diet. I did everything. I had all the pills. I starved. I binged. I did all the things. And I'm just going to be fat anyways. So in my mind, I decided that's just how it is. I'm going to be fat. I'm going to be happy. And anybody who doesn't like it, doesn't like it. But it caught up to me physically. And by the time my son was 13, when I had my weight loss surgery, it hit me like a ton of bricks that I was only 10 years away from my mother's first stroke. And by that time, my mother had had a stroke. She had had a heart attack. She ended up with 2 more. She had diabetes. She ended up dying from cancer. So I realized at that point that I had maybe 10 years and I was going to be in that position, and I didn't have a choice anymore. I had to do something, and at that point, keto wasn't an option. I had never heard the word. This was now almost 9 years ago, and I needed to make a change for my life. And when I decided to have surgery, it cost me a lot. A lot of the people that were around me did not support me. They didn't want to be part of my new life, and they didn't like the new, healthier me. They loved the fatter than them Dory, who always made all the jokes and was always there to boost their confidence. And when I wasn't that girl anymore, they didn't want to be my friends anymore. And that's an adjustment. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that, because I feel like the people who don't support you in your life when you make healthy choices for you, that trash takes itself out.
Yeah. Well, you know, what was crazy for me is I have not lived in the same spot long enough to have friends that would abandon me.
Bonus!
I just move.
make new friends, better friends.
The people in my life have always just been my family. I have, you know, my brothers, my sister, my mom, my dad, my in-laws, you know, like, those are my support system, and I'm lucky to have, like, a pretty solid group of those people. So, and when it came to the friends, I don't know. They live somewhere else now.
Well, and I will say that in my later life, I don't have a lot of friends that I hang out with anymore. I mean, I do, most of my friendships are online, and the friends that I do have, it gets harder and harder as life goes on to get together. You just see them less and less and less. But I will say that very few of the people that were in my old life were a positive influence. Very few of them. Like 98% of them got cut out because they weren't bringing positivity to my life. And as a group of friends, we had really sunken into misery loves company. Do you know what I mean? We played a lot of, oh, if you think that's bad, wait till you hear what happened to me today. And we fed on a lot of negativity. And I want to talk a little bit about how that affects your mental health, because it left me in a very rocky place, mental health-wise. So I want to talk a little bit about how things change as we're losing weight and as we're starting a keto diet. Because for me, changing the way I eat helped my brain process better. It helps me manage my depression and my anxiety. So I want to start there and talk a little bit about what this way of eating has changed for you and how that helps your mental health.
So what's interesting is I went to see my original weight loss doctor. I didn't go to see her for weight loss. I went because I had, I don't know, food poisoning or something. And I couldn't wait to tell her how I had defied her and gone against her wishes and decided to do keto. And she was really happy for the progress that I had made. But it's like she kind of wanted to somehow debunk that, well, yeah, it wasn't really keto. Because I told her I'm off of all of my anxiety medications and, like my PCOS is under control. And, like I've got my whole list of, I got a list of about 10 things that have improved because of the way that I eat. And her response was, well, yeah, a lot of that happens when you lose weight. And that's true.
Yes.
Okay, that is true. Things do change when you lose weight. Your hormones do tend to get better. Your attitude tends to get better. If you have anxiety, panic, depression, all the things that I have, those things do tend to get better. But only to a point. The thing is that with my way of eating keto, I am actually nurturing my brain in a way that is aiding me in being able to control the mental disorders that I have. And that's not all weight loss, because I've lost weight in the past and none of that stuff went away. The weight went away. I felt a little better about myself, but all of the deep stuff, all of the real serious health stuff, they stayed the same. Different bodies, same mind. Because I've been on that roller coaster. I was 123 pounds when I got married, and I worked really damn hard to be a skinny bride, which clearly didn't last. But
only till the honeymoon.
So I've been that. What was that?
You only got to stay skinny till the honeymoon.
Yeah, right. And that was pretty much what I did. But yeah, I got the weight down. I've done it before. The brain stuff never changed. The PCOS never changed. I always had irregular periods my whole life. I always had terrible cramps. Even when I wasn't severely overweight, I was having miscarriages. That stuff was not just, that stuff doesn't go away just from weight loss. For some people it does. But I truly, truly believe that eating a ketogenic diet, getting all the carbs out of my lifestyle, the things that have inhibited my hormones from acting and behaving normally, I got rid of all those things that were standing in my way. And that was keto. That was not just weight loss. And same thing with the anxiety, depression, panic. The panic disorder is horrible. Like when you're just fine and all of a sudden you're like in a blind panic. That doesn't go away just when you lose weight. So anybody who says to any of you, weight loss is all this stuff that's going well for you, that's just a side effect of weight loss. You can lose weight any sort of way and still have those same benefits. I don't believe so. At least not for me. For some people, maybe, definitely not for me.
Well, and on that point, I'll say this. losing weight will help your joints hurt less because you're putting less weight on it. But removing the inflammation from your joints by taking out the carbs and the sugar, that's where the pain relief comes from. Yes, some of it is from weighing less, but more of it is from the inflammatory ingredients that you're no longer eating. For me, I saw an improvement in my depression long before I lost any weight with keto. I did keto for 6 months before I lost a single pound. And I noticed an improvement in my depression within 2 or 3 weeks. So they can't say that you are less depressed because you weigh less, therefore you're happier. It was my mental state. I just woke up one day and I thought, I'm not miserably depressed today. When was the last day I was miserably depressed? And I had to really think about when that was. And that was long before I saw any benefit of weight loss.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, you're talking about the inflammation on your joints. Well, it's also the inflammation that's going on inside your brain. Yes. I mean, people don't think about that. When they think inflammation, they think, oh, my joints hurt, I feel a little bloaty, I don't feel quite right, I'm in a little bit of pain, or I feel I'm having a fat day. But you don't think about what's going on inside your brain, and taking all of that inflammation down with removing the carbohydrates and also flooding your brain with flooding your body with the fat that brings the ketones to your brain. It's like wrapping your brain in a warm hug and giving it a hug. Oh. And that's not something that weight loss will do. I mean, it can help.
It can help. But being healthier, being more mobile, feeling good about yourself is always going to improve your general outlook on life. Is it going to help you treat the inflammation in your brain and help your brain function properly? Maybe not. Maybe not.
And there are vitamins and things that when you're deficient, your brain doesn't work well. I mean, I think we've addressed a little bit that I have the MTHFR. So, getting the proper methylated forms of vitamin B and folate and things like that, those things help the brain too. Absolutely. So it isn't, we like to think that keto is magical, and it pretty much kind of is. But there are other magics that can go along with it.
Well, and I feel like these are things you're not aware of until you start eating keto, until you're more familiar with your body, how it functions, what your everyday normal is. And I feel like when we start to pay attention to our body, to what we're eating, we're able to sleuth out some of these other issues that are coming up.
Absolutely. I was actually going to use the word sleuth, because that's exactly what we end up doing. It's like, oh, I'm feeling a little better. I want to figure out something else. How can I feel even better? And what else can I figure out? How else can I figure out a better way to be healthy? And you do it. You kind of end up going on a mission to figure it all out. And I never would have figured out MTHFR if I hadn't been concerned about my health, and I wouldn't have been concerned about my health so much if I hadn't started this keto thing, because I wanted to lose weight a million times before. When I started keto, I was like, this is healthy and stupid, and I don't even think it's a good idea, but I don't really care.
I don't care. I just want to be thin.
Lose weight, and I'll figure out the health stuff later. I could care less about the health. I just don't want to feel like crap anymore. And so, and little did I know that this thing that was going to be so unhealthy but was just going to help me bang off the weight was the thing that was actually really healthy and helped me figure out all the other healthy things.
Oh, Crazy. Who knew? I had no idea. I heard the word keto because my girlfriend wanted to try the newest miracle weight loss shake, and it happened to be a keto brand name, and she messaged me the day it arrived, and she said, oh my God, Dory, I was just Googling the best way to make use of this shake, and there's the whole diet. And I was like, girl, you better back up off me with that D word. You want to be my friend or no? Because we don't have to be friends right now. And I wasn't nice to her. I was not receptive. I was not looking for a diet. I was not looking for healthy life change. I'd be lying if I said I was. I was looking for a quick fix. I wanted to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. This shake told me it would happen. I spent $90 so that I could lose 20 pounds. And I was like, well, $90 is worth 20 pounds. Guess what? I didn't lose any weight. None. Like, none. But what it did was lead me to keto. And 2 years later, I'm obsessed with that. I left the shakes behind in the dust, and I just eat. For some reason, they are back on Facebook. Yay! we glitched out for a second. So I'm going to read the comments we have. Tina on Instagram says, my philosophy is that people come into your life for a reason or for a season. How long that season is depends on the reason that they're in your life. When you move on, and it's okay when they move out of your life, they've served their purpose, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too. And actually, Dory and I have had, we won't get into conversations on that because that could be a whole different life. But Dory and I have had conversations on that where there are people who are good, really good in our life for some reason, and we take that, and they might even be really bad in our life for other reasons, and then they go away. But if we take that good part, then that's worth it.
Well, and
like, even if
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, even if good turns bad, grab the good and remember what the good is, and remember why it was there.
Even when people bring negativity to your life, there is positive that can be found in that. When people are negative to me, it inspires me. It fuels me. It makes me angry. When they try to burn me down, I take that fire and I use it to light the fire under my ass, and I hit the ground running. And honestly, I feel like I should thank my haters. In a lot of ways, people who have tried to discourage me have done more to push me forward and encourage me to continue going and increase my fire and increase my fight and clearly see my passion, only because they questioned me. Only because I literally had to say, no, I have value. What I'm doing is important. What I'm sharing is important. And without that push, I might not be doing what I'm doing. So negative isn't always a negative in your life unless you let it be.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's close up talking a little bit more about how we work on our mental state. Because it's really easy for us to say, oh, just eat keto and everything will get better. And I know for me, it's been a combination of how I eat and retraining my thinking, positive affirmations, surrounding myself with positive people, any number of steps and things that are included. So I'd like to talk a little bit about your mental health journey and where that's taken you so far and where you're going in the future with that.
Well, that's such a big question.
Right? Ooh, big one, Dory.
My mental health state is never going to be perfect. I mean, I've had recent panic attacks. Those things are going to still happen. I guess for me, the big thing is decreasing the frequency and intensity of it by just constantly bringing myself to a better learning place about not only myself, the world around me. I'm a book junkie, so one of the things that really has helped me is there's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it's about mindset and good habits, bad habits, habit stacking, things like that. Like, I guess bringing my brain into a spot where it's like, okay, if I take myself away from the situation and I look at it, from the outside in, what are some things that I can change? What are some little teeny tiny things that I can change every single day? Because if you change one little tiny thing a day, that's 365 opportunities to change a year. And if you start stacking those on top of themselves, you become better in a year than you were the year prior, or in a month, or a week, or whatever. Like, so that's been very inspirational to me. Another one, and again, being a book junkie that I am, there's a book called The Minimalist Home.
Okay.
And it's it's a lot of it is about just, like decluttering your home and your life and stuff, but in doing so, decluttering your mind, getting rid of kind of some of the junk.
I believe that. I do.
And then there's this.
I come from hoarders, so I believe that a cluttered home makes a cluttered mind. I really truthfully believe that, and I feel like the things around you are a replacement for dealing with what you should.
Yeah.
At least in mine.
And I have a lot of clutter in my house and my mind, and so that's a big thing. Big thing. But then there's this, I had to bring this to the pool because I wanted to read it. I know it's backwards. It says, "Be more unicorn."
Oh, yes, please. I would do that.
Be more unicorn. I figured how apropos is it? It was just sitting on my ledge, and I knew I was going to be talking to Dory, and I was like, oh my goodness, be more unicorn. How fitting.
Yes.
Eat glitter for breakfast and shine all day is one of the chapters.
Oh my God, yes, I'm in. Glitter for breakfast, I'm in.
But yeah, exactly, I know. But in looking at this cute little book that I bought for my daughter for Easter, what I'm getting out of this is just to lighten up.
Yes.
Dude, lighten up, right?
Yes. I will say that is the basis of what I do. Have fun, lighten up, stress less, dance more. And I'll tell you a secret. Even I get bogged down. Around about February, I was struggling. I was struggling really, really hard. You get bogged down in social media and, in the needs and the demands of it, and you start to have less fun. And at that same time, I was getting a lot of less than favorable feedback from people. And they were saying things like, you're just too silly. Nobody wants to watch that. You dance too much. Nobody wants to watch that. Your lights are a distraction. Nobody likes that. And at that point, I was really, really struggling. And I gave an awful lot of thought to walking away from social media. I won't lie, a lot of thought. And I had to step back and refocus and realize that the key of what I do is the fun. And if I lose that fun, then I'm not doing what I meant to do. So I decided to, 2 middle fingers to the world and tell those people their opinion doesn't matter.
Yep, there you go. Sometimes you have to do that.
And literally nobody at the end of life says, "Oh, I wish I'd worked harder and been more serious." Everybody says, "I wish I'd had more fun. I wish I had lived my life. I wish that I had experienced things. I wish that I had danced in the rain and screamed at the moon," and all of the things. These are the things we kept from ourselves before. We deserve them.
Right.
We earned them. We're real human beings who belong in the world, who don't have to hide in black dresses and closets and hide away from the world. We get to have that fun now.
Yeah. Exactly. Why didn't we in the first place?
Well,
because we had a lot of things. We had a lot of things bogging us down, and we had a lot of challenges, a lot of things that we hadn't figured out, and we're never going to figure it all out. But
I could say weight held me back, but that was only part of it. It was only part of it. I mean, I didn't live my life to the fullest because I was worried about what people would say, what people would think. Should I wear that outfit? Do I look fat in that? Does my hair look good enough? Do I look fat from this angle, Jessica?
No.
And
you look beautiful from that angle.
Right? That's all that my life was. And now I struggle to let go of that judgment. Do you know how many times I go to edit a video and I'm like, why did I reach to turn that off so that everybody could look at this? What's wrong with you, Dory? And I have to accept that, like it or not, this is part of who I am. And if people love me and accept me, they know that my arms just wave for a while.
time?
My angel wings, whatever, don't judge me. So let's close up talking a little bit about that, because you and I have talked extensively on multiple occasions about loose skin issues. And I'd love to close up talking about that, because I feel like that is one of the main things that holds a lot of people back. They're afraid of loose skin. I was.
You know, the way I see it is, the skin is there. Would you rather have it full?
Right.
I mean, do you really want it? Do you really want all of that on your body? Because honestly, the skin, some of it might not ever go away, but a lot of it eventually, over a long period of time, will get better. But would you rather just keep it full and keep yourself having problems using a regular size bathroom stall because you don't want to have a little gobble going on? I mean, I'm sorry. My sister, oh my God, I have to tell you this.
It's sexy. I'm just going to put that out there and be like, sexy.
So this is so funny. It is, but it isn't. My sister had to have a back surgery, and she had a little bit of a weight setback because of it.
Yep.
And you know, and she was frustrated. But she called me one day and she said, Jess, I'm losing my turkey neck. She's like, you know, because she gained a few pounds back and you know, and she's taken them off again. But you know, after the surgery, she was struggling a little. She's like, I lost my turkey neck. I worked hard for that gobble.
I worked hard for that.
I'm like, oh my God, at least you're laughing.
Right?
Like, you laugh because you'll get the gobble back.
Well, in this, I'm going to put it out there and say this might not be the most attractive part of my body, but it's nicer than my 3 chins used to be.
Yes.
You know, like...
Exactly. And your neck. Every time I see you, I'm like, God, I wish my neck would get better like Dory's. Her neck has gotten so firm and straightened up so much. And I'm like, and I look at myself and I'm like, oh.
You know what, though? It's been a whole year.
It is getting better, though. For me, too.
Been like, what, a year and a half?
Worse than it is now.
Since we met, I think a year and a half when we first talked about this. And the improvement that I see in your neck is incredible. Like, I think it's easier for other people to see what's going on with your body because they don't see it every day. I see you, you know, when we chat live. I see you when I watch your live content in your group. But I'm not looking into your mirror every day. I see a huge improvement. Huge. Like, night and day.
Thank you.
Oh, I love you.
Thank you. So when it comes to the loose skin, folks, if you're worried about that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's better that you have the loose skin and you're overall healthier because that will improve. It'll tighten up. And if you live with it, great. If you really can't stand it, save up your money and do a surgery. And I'm not telling you go out and get surgery, but it is another option. You know, like if you lost weight 10 years ago and you still have loose skin, I would consider, I'm not telling anybody to do that. I'm just saying there are options, or you just embrace who you are and love who you are and be very, very happy with what you have done.
If I had the money,
better and you feel better.
I'd be on the surgery. I won't lie. For me, it's a matter of saving the money because I look at it this way. I started my weight loss journey 8 years ago. And you know what? I'm coming now into my mid-40s. It will probably take me another 15 or 20 years just with intermittent fasting and keto to retract all of my skin. So, you know, by the time I'm 65, I could have a half-decent body. Psh, no. No. I am saving my money. And judge me or no, I think I deserve to have a body that I love. And one day that might include surgery. For some people it does. For some people it doesn't. But again,
and I
that's
don't plan on having
personal.
surgery myself because I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. And it has gotten better, so I'm just going to continue to believe that it's better. But I am fully in support if Dory wants to have surgery.
Oh, eventually.
And I might change my mind. I might decide to have surgery too. I don't know.
We go together for we could get a discount.
By the way, don't be jealous. I am at the pool.
Aww. It's actually hot here today. I should have turned on my air conditioning before I started this live. I'm like...
Yeah, I am at the pool to answer...
I'm totally
it's
jealous.
Hot. It's hot as hell, and I had to jump in the pool right before I got on because I knew that I'd be dying if I didn't get wet, and I'll be jumping in the pool in a couple minutes again.
Awesome. So before we let you go, man, I have stuff falling down in my freezer. I don't know what's up with that. Booby trap. Do you have anything up and coming in your group in the next couple weeks that we need to watch out for?
In my group, well, we will be here locally. We're doing a lot more meetup.
Okay.
And so I believe we have another one. I believe we have another one on August 24th, and so we'll be putting some stuff up in the group on that. And then we'll be doing some, get to know each other live.
Okay.
I'm really excited that before Christmas, I reached out to Glenn Brad Finkel.
Oh, I love him.
Life. And I told him, here, these are all the reasons why we should have Adapt Your Life in Phoenix.
Right.
So talk to Dr. Westman about that, and let's do this thing. And I really thought I was kind of half kidding. No, I wasn't kidding. I mean, I wanted it, but I didn't think
you didn't think they'd listen.
And Liza Becker and I have been working since shortly after the first of the year, and I just found out yesterday that we are officially announced that Adapt Your Life is going to be in Phoenix on October the 5th.
Yes!
So that's a big one.
That is huge. And I have a big one too. On August 17th, so in just a couple weeks, I will be attending the very first big Canadian keto conference in Toronto. So I'm flying out. I'm booking a Kid Zone booth in my brand. I'm going to hang out, meet people. We're going to have tons of giveaways and fun stuff at the kids booth. And we're going to start changing the world. This is my new direction. I want to take a traveling Kid Zone to more and more and more events. I have found my niche.
Yes. So awesome. I'm so proud of you for that. I can't wait to see all the lives that you do there.
I'm so excited. So I absolutely adore you, lady. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to give you the closing out thought today.
Oh, you're supposed to do that.
I know. I just put, hello, Spot, Jessica, you're on it.
Okay, so my closing thoughts are to just live your life more, love your body, no matter what stage you're in. Love your brain, because seriously, without it, you'd have nothing.
Right.
Maybe sometimes we have nothing, Dory.
I got nothing, girl. I got nothing.
But yeah, I guess the thing is just, especially for the people who are new and struggling, just realize that Dory and I we were then what you might be now.
Yes.
And it's all possible to just pull yourself together if you have, you have to have the right mindset, but you also have to surround yourself with the right people. And I believe that Dory is one of those right people to surround yourself with, because she's going to help you through a lot of this stuff. The way that she was able to get through it, she's going to help you to get through it too. So really, reach out to Dory, reach out to me if you need any support in any way, because we've been there, done that. We're still there doing that.
Still there doing it.
Today.
But this is the fun part now, right? This is the fun part. We get to share our journey with other people, help other people get to where we are. The struggle that we went through doesn't have to be so hard for other people when you're not doing it on your own. So don't do it alone. Reach out, join Jessica's group, search on Facebook for Keto Genesis, and check it out. We have a lot of fun there.
Yeah, we do. And of course, find a Colorful Keto with Dory, Colorful Keto Lifestyle, all the colorful ketos that, they're They're really all Dory. So
Yeah, they're all me.
You know, just find it and you'll find Dory.
Just search Dory and see what you find. There was a time when I put my name into Google and nothing came up, you know. A long time ago.
I have actually, you know what? I have put in Dory and you pop up.
Instantly, even if you spell it wrong. Just saying.
Yep.
Have an awesome
remember
Tuesday.
that there's a U in colorful. COLOUR.
Right?
Because we're Canadian. Over here. Well, she is. I'm just almost Canadian. I'm Minnesotan.
You're close enough. We're like sisters of the border soul.
Yeah, don't you know?
Don't you know, Bob? Have an amazing day, my darling. I adore you. Bye, doll.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's get back our taco song. Because that's, like, the best part about Tuesday. Like, because it's raining tacos. Have an amazing Tuesday. Laugh more. Dance more. Have more fun, baby.